2200 hours in Banjul, and from GRTS, this is the news. We're broadcasting live for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. In the headlines, President Adama Barrow lays the foundation stone for the construction of the Sankandi Karantaba Road in Kiang in the Lower River region. The Vice President, on behalf of the President, presents $2 million to victims of last Wednesday's windstorm in the North Bank region. Plus, the Minister of the Interior appears before the Public Petition Committee of the National Assembly to shed light on allegations that the police failed to prosecute suspected cattle rustlers in the Upper River region. And the European Union Ambassador to the Gambia calls on the Minister of Defense to strengthen partnership and possible areas of cooperation. Away from home to South Africa, where the imprisonment of former President Jacob Zuma leads to social unrest, with deaths and nearly 500 people arrested. Well, these and much more coming ahead in this edition of the news. I am Aissatou Keita, and thanks for joining us. Welcome to GRTS News with me, Aissatou Keita. We begin with the presidency, as the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, has laid this foundation stone for the construction of the Sankandi Karantaba Road in the Kiang West Lower River region. The 87-kilometer road project, funded by government at a tune of $400 million, seeks to link the interior of Kiang to the South Bank Main Road. The project, as we hear in this report by Mamadou Diallo, is expected to enhance socio-economic activities as well as ease the access to the hinterland.
The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, continues to break new ground as he lays the foundation stone for yet another important project. 2 days after laying the foundation stone of the Laminkoto Diabuguba Tapa electricity project, the Gambian leader did the same for the first phase of the Sankandi Road project. The project is seen as a major turning point for the people of Kiang, who have waited for more than 5 decades for the government to respond to their plight. Therefore, Kiankers turned out in their numbers to grace the historic event, which was held in Sankandi. The alcalde of the village, Banta Kambi, welcomed the development as a dream come true for all Kiankers who had endured decades of suffering. He thanked the President for taking the bold initiative, which has seen Kiang get electricity and now a road to link the inland villages with the main highway. The Chief of Kiang West, Alhaji Mamadou Njai, called on the people of Kiang to reflect on the groundbreaking developments championed by the President and support his agenda. He declared the constant political bickering in Kiang as a distraction, calling on the people of Kiang to embrace President Barrow. These comments were echoed by the governor of the Lower River region, Rohijon Manjang, who commended the President for keeping his promises to the people of the region. She added that Kiang, as one of the most neglected regions in the country, is witnessing a new era in development, citing the provision of electricity and the new road as unprecedented. The organizing secretary of the NPP party, Fabu Sane, on behalf of all the people of Kiang, commended President Barrow for fulfilling one of their most urgent priorities, reassuring that Kiang would never serve as fodder for any political party anymore. The $400 million contract is awarded to Guy Enterprises, whose managing director, Mustafa Guy, reassured that works on the first phase will be completed in 12 months. For the Minister of Works, Bailamin Job, this project forms part of the ambitious government plan to construct the entire Kiang Road network, which has a total length of 87 kilometers.
The ultimate aim of this project is to link major communities in the region and districts of Kiang, such as Kemoto, Tangular, Joli, Jali, Manduar, and to connect them to the main South Bank road you see over there. The road will be constructed in 2 lanes, that is a 2-lane carriageway of 7 meters wide, with 1.5 meters shoulders on each side of the carriageway.
The second phase, according to the Works Minister, will follow immediately and will transform Kiang ending its decades of isolation.
And it concerns the design, review, supervision and construction of the remaining 48 kilometers and a proposed bridge linking Kiang and Foni over the Bintangolo. This is an ambition we have. This planned landmark project will not only benefit the people of LRR, and Kiang districts, but the Gambia as a whole.
The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, described the project as much deserved after visiting Kiang and seeing firsthand the plight of the people. This situation, the President added, called for urgent measures to address the challenges faced by the people on a daily basis.
One of the main reasons for our determination is our belief and conviction that no community in Gambia should be deprived of development, no matter where it is situated. It is unfortunate that 27 communities in this project area lack major amenities, including good road infrastructure. Thus, the people in the hinterland face daily challenges for commuting to access social services or engage in meaningful economic activities.
President Barrow described the occasion as another giant milestone in expanding the Gambia's road infrastructure, adding that the project will greatly enhance the lives and livelihoods of the people.
Realizing that good infrastructure improves living standards, we are proud to take bold initiatives to provide them for our people. To this end, the occasion marks another giant step towards expanding and improving the road infrastructure in all the regions of the country.
Touching on politics, President Barrow called for an end to the politics of tribalism and segregation, describing December 4th as a decisive moment for Gambians to make the ultimate decision that would save the future of the country. With these words, the President, accompanied by Lady Sajo Mbalo and officials, laid the foundation stone, officially marking the beginning of works on what could be described as the most important project Kiang has ever seen. Odo Jalo, GRTS News.
President Adama Barrow, through the Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure, on Tuesday presented $2 million to the people who were affected by last Wednesday's devastating windstorms in the North Bank region. The presentation ceremony held at State House was attended by the Governor of the North Bank region, Lamin Sedikan. Yaro Jallo reports.
The heavy windstorm that hit the country last Wednesday evening left over a dozen people dead and displaced thousands of families. The destruction caused by the powerful wind has prompted President Adama Barrow to come up with this donation to support the affected families in the North Bank region. Presenting the donation on behalf of the President, the Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure described the gesture as timely, adding that the move is part of President Barrow's personal efforts to contribute to the welfare of the disaster victims in the country.
This is a great gesture from our beloved President, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, to source from his own individual resources to help those affected during this disaster period. I want to attest that I was also sent by him to go to the southern part of the country when he was doing the North Bank region to also go and commiserate and say send his condolences to the bereaved families of those that are affected, and I did. He also actually supported them. This $2 million is that he is donating to the governor of the North Bank in response to the unfortunate situation that occurred during the rainy season. It's a token of humanitarian gesture to those affected, and this is his individual contribution.
The Vice President further called on other philanthropists to come on board and support the disaster victims. The Governor of North Bank region received a donation on behalf of the affected families. Governor Lamin Sedikan thanked President Barrow for the kind gesture.
Thanks to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Adama Barrow, of his good leadership. He took initiative and came to the region, and then he visited a lot of places, and he saw the devastation by himself, and he pledged his $2 million to help the community.
The North Bank governor also used the opportunity to call on other Samaritans to emulate the gesture and so that the donation would reach the targeted beneficiaries. For GRTS News, this is Yero Jallo reporting.
Still on the executive, the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Toure, has also officiated the opening ceremony of a stakeholder sensitization forum on the implementation of the ECOWAS gender-based violence and child tax in the context of COVID-19 pandemic. Yero Jallo again.
According to officials, the forum provides opportunity to address the human security and protection challenges through an integrated, multi-sectoral and right-based approach. In her opening statement, Vice President Toure spoke at length on the significance of the forum. She noted that the government of the Gambia recognizes the importance of the protection of people and their properties, which motivated the new integrated in-country approach. Vice President Toure said the Gambia is the first of the 5 countries to implement the integrated approach in 2021.
Clearly, the shift globally from the conception of security in purely traditional statist terms, with an emphasis on state and regime survival and the application of military means, including other measures reflecting the capabilities of state violence and control, has been an important step forward in the evolution of human political morality.
Dr. Toure further stated that the recognition of the importance of gender equality to national security, government of the Gambia has mainstreamed gender issues in the country's national security policy. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dawda Jallow, said despite the progress made, there are still challenges to overcome and ensure the right of women and children, physically challenged, internally displaced persons, and all other vulnerable groups are fully met.
In support of government efforts to ensure effective protection of rights of women and children, the work of some civil society organizations, NGOs, that embark on a campaign to raise awareness on issues of gender-based violence must be recognized and acknowledged. In fact, capacity building has been the bedrock of our reform process since 2017. Judicial training for judges and magistrates, continuing legal education for state counsel and prosecutors, and training for law enforcement agencies generally in order to strengthen the human resources to building robust institutions.
He further stated that the National Human Rights Policy and Action Plan 2021-2025, specifying strategic areas of intervention to address the challenges faced by government in the implementation of its obligation, has been put in place. The Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Fatou Kinte, said her ministry will continue to work tirelessly with all other relevant stakeholders and development partners to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls.
The government of the Gambia is committed to ensuring that fundamental human rights of women and children are protected and fulfilled. Gambia is a signatory to the international human rights treaties and protocols, such as the International Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, CEDAW, the International Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC, and the UN General Assembly Resolution on the complete elimination of FGMC. All of these were adopted in 1979, 1989, and 2012, respectively.
The ECOWAS Commissioner of Social Welfare and Gender and the ECOWAS representative in the Gambia, Dr. Siga Fatma Jany and Vavad Gaiflo, respectively, assured government of the Commission's commitment to improving human security and protection in the country. For GRTS News, this is Yero Jallow reporting.
To some legislative matters now, the Minister of the Interior, Yankuba Sonko, and the Director General of Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency, Dr. Demba Jallow, on Tuesday appeared before the Public Petition Committee of the National Assembly. The duo were summoned to shed light on a petition that alleged the lack of intervention by the police force to prosecute suspected cattle wrestler and other livestock in the Upper River region, particularly in Wuli District. Khadijatu Jallow.
The Minister of the Interior, Yankuba Sonko, and Director General Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency are the latest to appear before the National Assembly Public Petition Committee to shed light on petition letter by the Wuli East Animal Protection Association relating to cattle stealing in Wuli. The chairman of the committee and his team asked the witnesses issues relating to allegations that the police are not prosecuting perpetrators and the revocation of the license of one cattle dealer who is alleged to have been involved in stealing cattle but still engaged in the business even though his license had been revoked since 2020.
We've received evidence from the community that he used to give ransom to the police. These are allegations that are laid before. So what do you have to say to that?
There's a case whereby our person, this Kora, he found Gajigo slaughtering. He ran to the police, informed them. Okay, the police came. The police said, okay, no, let him finish his job. Let's go. We'll arrest him after. They went with this man, how do they call it? Kora. And they made sure that they came back when actually this man had slaughtered and sold his meat. And nothing happened. Then later they came and said, but there's no evidence now. Where is the evidence now? What can we do now?
Lack of enough resources for the police to effectively execute their duty and the police surrounding transfer of officials are some of the challenges that the Minister of the Interior highlighted as hindering efficiency in service delivery, citing Officer Alkali Mandaba, who stayed in Sarangai for 15 years.
We have to praise the police for doing their best because the last police station that was built by the government was as far back as 1970 something. The rest of the stations that we are currently using are all, built by the police from their welfare fund and from their seafood fund. That is just to complement the efforts of the government. And up to 2017, half of the police vehicles were also police-owned.
Subject matter specialist Pa Amadou Diallo also shared his views.
And I think there is also a need for the police to think of building modern police stations, at least in Wuli. Because if you look at Wuli, you have Wuli East, Wuli West, and then and Sandu. So they have been policed by only these two police stations, that is Sarengai and Diabugo.
On behalf of the committee, the chairman, Honorable Sunkari Baji, commended the witnesses for providing vital information. Khadijatu Jallo, reporting for GRTS News.
While still on the legislature, the National Food Security and Marketing Corporation on Tuesday appeared before the Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly to present their 2018 and 2019 activity report and financial statement. Khadijatu Juara.
The National Food Security and Marketing Corporation, NFSMC, on Tuesday appeared before the Public Enterprise Committee to present their 2018 and 2019 activity report and financial statements. Speaking during the session, the chair of Enterprise Committee, Honorable Halifa Sallah, said the engagement creates an understanding of the nation's policies and challenges for further scrutiny and recommendations. Honorable Sallah further recommend for the committee to visit the National Food Security and Marketing Corporation to have a true understanding of the institution.
And members had to go directly into activities, and the committee engaged them and insists that we must put an end to the backlog in 2021. And to do so, we must commence right away to consider the activity report and financial statement of those institutions that had submitted their report up to 2019. The activity report and financial statement of the GGC National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation for the year 2018-2019. It is moved and seconded. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those in favor say no. The ayes have it. Board, management, we're in it together. We want to finish this business as quickly as possible, and we hope that you will give us priority, and we will consult and tell you soonest the day for us to be there, and hopefully we will be inviting the auditors to be present so that we look at the key issues and then from there reconvene for the final consideration.
Managing Director Food and Security Corporation, Mohammed Jai, said visiting the sites is timely for better understanding of the challenges the institution faced.
In terms of visiting our depots, I think it will be very timely for us. And also some of the challenges that we are faced with, I think there is another select committee on monitoring that is actually monitoring some of the projects that have been implemented by the government, which is the new processing plant. Perhaps you can also go there because there are delays, and the National Assembly members can help us achieve that too.
The chairman of the National Food Security and Marketing Corporation, Falalo Toure, said the suggestion will significantly enhance the full capacity of the Institution for National Development. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Khadija Tujuara.
Moving on, the European Union ambassador to the Gambia, His Excellency Corrado Pampaloni, has paid a courtesy call on the Minister of Defense at his office in Banjul. In another development, the Minister of Defense also received in audience the committee members of the Defense Policy, who presented the final draft report of the Gambia National Defense Policy. Winifred Nichols covered both engagements and now reports.
But productive day for the Minister of Defense, Honorable Sheikh Omar Fai, who received in audience the European Union Ambassador to the Gambia, His Excellency Corrado Pampaloni. This is his first official visit to the Ministry of Defense, barely 7 months after his appointment. Their discussions centered on issues of partnership and possible areas of cooperation.
I came here to reiterate our full support to the Gambian government and to the transition that His Excellency the President of the Gambia has started the day of his elections. With the Honorable Minister, we discussed also our teams of collaboration. As you know, the European Union has supported the security sector reform very deeply, and we continue to do it, and we will continue to do it.
Committed in supporting the Gambia's democratic transition, the EU-Gambia relations has helped deliver important development goals for the country. Thus, the pledge by the top EU diplomat to continue supporting the country's development initiative.
The Gambia needs help. We're in a very fragile democracy. It's a new transition, and we're trying to move forward as a country. And the EU will be a very phenomenal partner that can help us build capacity. The budget support you're already doing, and all the support you gave to President Barrow and all Gambians. We here at the Ministry of Defense, we say thank you.
In a similar but set engagement, the Minister of Defense also received in audience members of the Defense Policy Draft Committee, who were at his office to present the final draft report of the Gambian National Defense Policy, led by the chairperson of the committee, Honorable Sheriff Gomez.
The Ministry of Defense found the need to put this team together to prepare a defense policy. But preceding this, before this, the enabling environment was already created by government through putting through the security sector reforms that started with an assessment of what is the security situation of the country. And following on that, the construction and development of national security policies, the national security strategy, the security sector reform strategy.
The final draft, according to officials, has the input of various stakeholders before validation, as announced by the Defense Minister.
Now we have come to a point where we have a robust, rigorous, and well-informed defense policy. During a post-2020 era, when traditional security threats continue to develop and impact the world, an era when military forces must invest in developing new forms of capability to respond to these issues, the risks, the threats. Also an era when regional and international cooperation has never been more important in this increasingly globalized and interdependent world. It is critical the Gambia remains relevant and also has a contribution to bring to collective security and defense threats.
After 6 months of deliberations and collaboration, members of the drafting committee, comprising the former and present senior security officers, as well as senior officials from the civil service, shared their experience and best practices during the process. It is hoped that the ministry will deliver to expectation. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Winifred Nicole.
An immediate release from the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment says in its surveillance of the market prices has noticed with concern the increase in the price of corrugated iron sheet 14 mm from 1,800 per packet in mid-June to 2,200 currently. Similarly, the prices of nails and iron rods are also rising. These increases are taking place in the aftermath of the devastating windstorm that adversely affected the country last week. The ministry hereby notifies all traders that undue price escalations are not in line with the free market principles and contradicts Section 11(2)(a) of the Gambia Consumer Protection Act 2014. According to the release, traders should not take advantage of the natural disasters that affect the country and should desist from any practice that is not supporting consumer welfare. The ministry remains committed to free market principles but will take necessary measures against any trader that violates the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Act. The release ends. Now, the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission Tuesday had an award ceremony for its partners. The awardees were the United Nations Transitional Justice, the International Center for Criminal Justice, Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa, and the Catholic Relief Services, amongst others, to show appreciation for their support and commitment during the TRRC process. Senabu Jan witnessed the award ceremony and fastened this report.
OHCHR and the UNDP, the IHRDA, CRS, International IDEA, and ICTJ. The TRRC would not have registered the successes that we registered. You walked the talk with us. You felt our pain, and you accompanied us when we were down, when we needed resources, when we needed technical advice, when we just needed a word of comfort. The individual staff members were always there to guide, to support, and to just be there for us. And for that, we are extremely grateful.
Awards were presented to the various partners who, according to the TRRC officials, supported the Commission in the successful completion of the TRRC proceedings. Chairperson of the TRRC, Dr. Lamin Sise, presented the first award to the United Nations Resident Coordinator, Seraphine Wakana.
When we talk about never again, so for us, I believe the partnership that we built with the TRRC will also serve as an example for other work we are still doing. And as the UN Resident Coordinator, I want to commit myself and the entire UN in the Gambia that we are supporting the TRRC. We are waiting for the report. And we will be happy to support and continue. We are really eager to see the implementation of the recommendations from the report we are going to submit. So the Peace Building Fund will always be ready to accompany also the recommendations.
The Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa was also presented an award by Commissioner Mustafa Ka. Speaking on behalf of the Institute was Executive Director Gay So, as he expressed his gratitude for the recognition.
So we very grateful being recognized. We would continue to monitor particularly the implementation of the recommendations, because for us IHRDA is really very, very important part of our mandate. Just wanted to say at IHRDA we talk about 5 different values. We talk about dedication, we talk about integrity, we talk about diligence, innovation, teamwork. We say we did it.
Country representative for the Catholic Relief Services, Ndeye Anta James, collected their award from Commissioner Amisamba.
Continue to be impressed by the resilience of the Gambian people. It is quite a feat to extract yourself from 22 years of a repressive regime and do it without bloodshed, because that is what the world is used to seeing. Bloodshed, misery, conflict. But the Gambia has been able to do that by putting peace and social cohesion ahead. And peace and social cohesion happens to be one of the foundations of our work at Conflict Relief Services.
The International Center for Criminal Justice was represented by Hussein Jallo as she received the award by Deputy Chairperson Adelaide Sose.
We would like to say thank you, and of course, we would like to congratulate the TRRC for the great work that has been done for the past 2 years. And we would like to assure the TRRC that we will continue to work with them anytime they need us.
The Commission completed its work after a period of extensive proceedings looking at human rights abuses committed during the 22 years of the former regime. Zainabu Jan for GRTS News.
Now to another presser from the Independent Electoral Commission disclosing that a total of 987,484 people have registered in the recently ended voter registration exercise held across the country's 7 administrative regions. A media release from the election house says the IEC has conducted a 44 days nationwide voter registration, which began on the 29th May and ended on Sunday, 11th July. According to this release, the registration exercise was in preparation for the 2021 electoral cycle to begin the presidential election slated for 4th December. The provisional total number of registered voters comprises 559,996 females and 427,488 males, says a media dispatch from the Electoral Commission. According to the release, 21,445 people registered in Banjul, 187,632 in Kanifing, 360,825 in Brikama, 109,934 in Kerawan, 57,832 in Mansakonko, 123,984 in Janjambure, and 125,832 in Basse administrative regions. The release further states that the provisional list of IEC's registered voters shall be displayed in due course at the various registration centers where they are compiled for a 10-day public scrutiny. This, according to the Commission, would be followed by the establishment of the revising court to decide on the objections and the appeals on the provisional list. The IEC commends government of the Gambia, political parties, development partners, civil society organizations, the media and the Gambian public for their support and participation in the successful conduct of the general voter registration exercise. The release ends. Now, the National Environment Agency, in partnership with stakeholders, Tuesday validated a document on the integrated coastal zone management. The forum seeks to harmonize policies for better integration of coastal zone management as a mechanism for climate change resilience. Baba Silla has the details.
Change continues to greatly threaten coastal areas, which are already stressed by human activity, pollution, invasive species, and storms. A coastal sea level rise could also erode coastal ecosystem and eliminate wetlands, while more acidic ozones are likely to disrupt coastal and marine ecosystem. A report by climate expert in 2016 revealed. To address this worrying situation, which remains a global threat, particularly for developing countries like the Gambia, officials of the National Environment Agency convened to discuss management and planning mechanisms with policies that could prevent severe conflict over coastal space and resource utilization. Alpha Jallo, the Director of Climate Change Mitigation at the Ministry of Environment, outlined the reason behind the forum, saying the integrated coastal zone management is devised by the government to initiate legal and institutional frameworks necessary to ensure the integration of management plans for coastal zones within environmental, social, and economic goals. The meeting also seeks to develop and enhance communal engagement and participation of those affected.
All countries being part of the United Nations Environment Development try to implement such in our own countries. And NEA, I think we will have to applaud the executive director and his team for coming up with such a plan, which is also integral in our policies, and also it is in a way of trying to implement
our NEMA, which is the blueprint of our environment policies in this country.
The forum is essential in harmonizing sectorial policies, plans and strategies in ways consistent with existing support from a broader set of predominant national goals for the country's coastal zone. Aruna Job is the project coordinator of the Climate Resilient Coastal and Marine Zone project for the Gambia.
This project was initiated in between 2013 and 2016, which was referred to as the GCCA Plus project. And it came out with some recommendations and achieved key milestones, one of which is the development of a strategic plan for the coastal zone management. This forum actually will discuss the plans, the initiatives, and some of the products of the project. However, the main issue to be discussed is to highlight the significance of coming up with an integrated coastal zone management process.
This sustainability project is a €5 million program funded by the European Union under the Climate Resilient Coast and Marine Zone project for the Gambia, scheduled for implementation from 2019 to 2023. For GRTS News, I am Baba Silla.
The county executive of the Newcastle County, Delaware, USA, has visited the Kanifing Municipal Council and held talks with the Lord Mayor of Kanifing Municipality, Ahmed Talib Bensouda. The engagement, as Aminata E. Sanyang reports, centered on a wide range of cooperations for the two municipalities.
It was a courtesy call paid to the Mayor of KMC, Talib Ahmed Bensouda, by the County Executive of Newcastle County, Delaware in USA. Both leaders had a series of bilateral discussions on various issues, also incorporated tours to various KMC strategic and project areas.
Throughout the Honorable County Executive's visit, he has seen a number of important sites within our municipality, including the vibrancy of our public markets such as Bakote Fish Market, the high quality of our fruits and vegetables produced by the Bakau Women's Garden, and the immense challenge we face in waste disposal, along with the Council's monumental investment in a 1.7-kilometer perimeter fence at the Bakote dump site. These site visits led to a rich exchange on a number of technical solutions to some of the most pressing challenges facing the residents of Kanifing. I am confident that during his stay, the Honorable County Executive came to understand why Kanifing is referred to the heartbeat of the Gambia, with its rich, vibrant culture and various economic activities.
The visit, according to officials, is a gateway to yield opportunities for KMC and Newcastle County.
Lord Mayor Bensouda and I today recognize the unique partnership and fellowship of KMC, one of the most densely populated districts in one of the smallest nations in the African continent, and Newcastle County, the largest county in one of the smallest states of the United States of America. By virtue of the authority vested in me by over 560,000 Americans living in the first county of the first state of the United States, do hereby proclaim today Kanifing Municipal Council Day in Newcastle County. Thank you.
This is the beginning of a new partnership expected to bring about immense technical solutions to challenges both offices are faced with. Aminata E. Sanyang, GRTS.
Well, that report by Aminata E. Sanyang takes us to a break. The news continues in a moment. Tuesday. Nationals in South Africa, where the imprisonment of former President Jacob Zuma has led to social unrest so far. At least 10 people have died and nearly 500 people have been arrested. The unrest started last week in KwaZulu-Natal. Zuma is a native of the region where he enjoys widespread support. It has since spread to South Africa's largest city, Johannesburg. Several COVID-19 vaccination sites have been attacked in the country, hampering the immunization efforts. Shops and malls have also been looted. The military has been deployed to support the police efforts to contain the violence. This comes as the country attempts to bolster an economy that already had hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. CGTN's Angelo Coppola reports.
Services and National Defence Force briefing is underway at the moment. The death count is increasing. We now understand that in KwaZulu-Natal, 30 people have been reported dead related to the violence and the unrest and obviously the looting and arson. Communities in the KwaZulu-Natal area are now banding together. They're arming themselves because they claim that they're not being protected by the police in the area. So that's a disturbing and concerning development since we last spoke. We do understand that the SAPs, that's the police services, have asked that people don't take the law into their own hands. Meanwhile, in Gauteng, there was widespread looting in the Alexandra area, which is to the east of Sandton, the big shopping and business center of Johannesburg. We do understand that there was some automatic fire in the shops there last night. That unrest and running battles is continuing, so we'll keep you updated on that. But there are provincial briefings underway at the moment. So at the moment we have 6 people confirmed dead in the Gauteng area and some 750 people arrested nationally thus far. Well, at the moment we understand that some 2,500 soldiers have been deployed in KwaZulu-Natal. We know that troops are on the streets in Pietermaritzburg area. We understand that troops have also been deployed in Gauteng. We know that they were on the streets in Soweto and Diepkloof, which are suburbs to the south of Johannesburg. We don't know how many troops are going to be deployed in the Gauteng just yet. We do know that their mission is to support the South African police services. They're not going to act independently or be deployed on separate individual missions as they were in the first lockdown. Their job is to ensure that the police operate in a safe and protected environment so that they can do their jobs of arresting looters and arsonists and rioters. That's their key focus. They don't have arrest powers. The problem, though, NGOs are telling us, is that they're carrying live rounds in their weapons, and that's a concern for NGOs in the area. The army did act in a very heavy-handed manner during the last hard lockdown, so this is a concern for most people. The president, of course, can increase the number of soldiers that are being deployed. We don't know if he's going to do anything at the moment. So as it stands right now, we have some 2,500 troops on the ground.
Well, over now to sports, where Carnifing East Football Club have qualified to the GFF Second Division League after winning the KMC Third Division League. Carnifing East defeated LK Boys on penalties after a goalless draw at the Independence Stadium. Farmer Abadi witnessed that encounter and now files in this report.
Carnifing East Football Club has become the newest member of the Gambia Football Federation football family. After securing promotion to the country's second division, the team achieved defeat after a brave performance against the Larukunda Boys FC in front of an impressive crowd, mainly supporters of LK in the final of the Carnifing Municipal Regional Third Division League, played at the Independence Stadium. LK Boys were the more impressive and dominant side in terms of possession, but the clear-cut chances were all created by Carnifing East. Carnifing East should have opened the scoring from a swift counter-attacking move, but Suleiman Fall was denied in a one-on-one situation by the LK Boys goalkeeper. A moment later, Suleiman Fall again missed a goal-marked opportunity for Carnifing East. If there was anything that stood between LK Boys and losing the game in the regulation time, was their goalkeeper Osman Jan, who made another late stop to send the game into penalty shootout as the tie ended goalless. LK Boys were not able to muster the energy in the shootout as both Halifa Kujabi and Donis Jata missed their sport kicks. And Carnifing captain Ibrahim Sanyan stepped up and fired home the crucial winning penalty to send Carnifing East into the second tier of Gambian football.
It's going to be really tough for us because we are a new promoted team. But we know how to go with it. We're going to work hard. We have a good season, have a good players, and then we try to prepare them and to make sure that when we come into the second division, we could believe that we're going to sustain ourselves there for 1 or 2 years or whatever. But we are aiming for the higher height.
Carnifing East were the end-crowned champions of the KM Regional Football Association's Third Division League, and it was a joyous moment for their supporters, who can now brace themselves for life in the second division. Farmer Abaji, GRTS News.
Congratulations to Carnifing East. And now to end the news, a look at our top stories once again. President Adam Barrow has laid the foundation stone for the construction of the Sankande Karantaba Road in Kiang in the Lower River region. The Vice President, on behalf of the President, Adama Barrow, has presented $2 million to victims of last Wednesday's windstorm in the North Bank region. The Minister of the Interior has appeared before the Public Petition Committee of the National Assembly to shed light on allegations that the police failed to prosecute suspected cattle rustlers in the Upper River region. And the European Union ambassador to the Gambia has called on the Minister of Defense to strengthen partnership and possible areas of cooperation. Away from home to South Africa, where the imprisonment of former President Jacob Zuma has led to social unrest with deaths and nearly 500 people arrested. Well, that was all we had time for in today's edition of GRTS News. From me and the entire news team, we want to thank you for the pleasure of your company, and do stay tuned to watching GRTS.